First, physical intimacy with a dismissive avoidant can feel exciting, intoxicating, or even addicting. But over time, the emotional void becomes painfully obvious, and it really starts to hurt. Let's break it down. Early on in a relationship with a dismissive avoidant, the physical intimacy can feel out of this world. It can be amazing, intense, like you can't keep your hands off of each other. But that generally tends to shift as the relationship progresses. And it can go a couple different ways. The most common way is that they withdraw over the course of time from physical intimacy, becoming less and less and less physically intimate with their partner. And that is directly because physical intimacy boosts emotional intimacy. It is a bonding activity. That's because it produces oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It's vulnerability. You are close and connected with your partner. It is an emotional experience, not just a physical one. Emotional intimacy is one of the core triggers and places of fear for a dismissive avoidant. This is a person that was on the receiving end of consistent childhood emotional neglect. They grew up to feel like there was something wrong with them, defective, unlovable, and that's because they personalize that neglect. So what happens is, because of that neglect and that feeling defective, they now fear that if they let somebody into their heart and really truly become vulnerable and available for somebody, that the person that they are vulnerable with is going to figure them out and figure out that they're defective and they're going to get rejected. So they directly associate emotional closeness with rejection. That's why emotional distance feels safe to them, because that way they can't get figured out and exposed as what they perceive themselves to be, which is defective. So now fast forward to the relationship. Early on, well, there is no true emotional intimacy because you're just getting to know each other. It's all dopamine fueled. Dopamine being the reward hormone that goes off during the honeymoon phase. And during that honeymoon phase, they're feeling good, and those insecurities haven't been unmasked yet because they're being masked by dopamine. And the relationship isn't real yet. There's not a deeper level of commitment, which, generally is associated with deeper vulnerability and emotional intimacy. But then the relationship progresses, commitment advances, emotional closeness builds, they get triggered and withdraw from physical intimacy because physical intimacy now gives them anxiety because of that vulnerability, that closeness. And they seek to create emotional distance by limiting physical intimacy. And as the relationship advances, they can even withdraw from physical intimacy altogether. Now, during the course of time, they can actually engage in physical intimacy. Some of them do. Some of them withdraw completely, but some do. But what they do is they detach their emotions from it. They suppress the emotional aspect, and it becomes just a physical act with their partner. No eye contact, no cuddling afterwards, no passionate displays of affection, just mechanical, the physical intimacy. It's like robotic, like they are completely detached from the moment with you. There's no vulnerability and intimacy, and they are just going through the motions, seeking that release. And afterwards, this can leave their partner feeling very empty and confused. You are just vulnerable, but yet you feel alone. You can be naked next to somebody and feel completely alone, and perhaps even confused or used, because you're wondering if that even meant anything to them, if they even care at all. The eye contact isn't there. The passionate kissing may not be there, and no cuddling and vulnerability and sweet moments afterwards. It's a transaction. Some of them just don't even go there at all. They just completely withdraw, and the anxiety from the closeness and the vulnerability that's involved with physical intimacy really triggers them so much that it actually results in physical performance issues like ED in men that are dismissive avoidant and other similar issues in women that are dismissive avoidant. But this can cause their partner to feel unwanted, unloved, confused, unattractive, undesired, because it's a very hard thing to not take personally. But it isn't personal. It's because they feel unsafe being close to anybody. And it's because they feel that if they get close, they're going to get rejected. It's at a subconscious level. Many of them aren't even understanding as to why they feel so much anxiety with physical intimacy. They just know they do. And they will often blame their partner, point the blame at them and say, you're the reason why physical intimacy isn't happening. I'm not attracted to you anymore, or this or that. But that's because they're trying to avoid that deep wound of shame and defectiveness. Because if they take accountability and say, hey, this is my issue, to them, it would be the emotional equivalent of confirming their own defectiveness. Too painful. So they often shift the blame to the other person, leaving that person feel even more unwanted, unloved, and undesired and unattractive. It can be a very painful experience. Reality is, physical intimacy is a very important part of a healthy relationship. Obviously, there's cases where physical intimacy can't happen due to medical issues, injuries, accidents, etc. But it is a core component because it boosts closeness. It brings people together. And studies have actually shown that couples in long-term relationships that engage in frequent physical intimacy report the highest level of satisfaction in the relationship, do better with conflict resolution, and tend to stay together longer. So there are absolute benefits to it. But when they withdraw and they feel you unwanted, alone, unloved, undesired, unattractive, that is not conducive for maintaining and fostering a healthy long-term relationship. And people want to feel loved and wanted and desired by their partner. And when you're not feeling that, boy, what a lonely relationship that can be. But it's not because of you, and it's not because you're not good enough or attractive enough. It's because they are so deeply insecure with being close to anybody that they'd rather pull away and completely shut that down. Quite frequently, they will seek to get their physical desires met in other ways that don't involve vulnerability. For example, adult content online, watching that because there's no vulnerability there. There's no person there. It gives them that release. Or having an affair outside the relationship with a person that they don't really have to be vulnerable with. But at the end of the day, the vulnerability that's associated with the physical intimacy with you, their primary partner, is too triggering. So they just shut down, withdraw, and often blame you. But it's not your fault.